Adventureport's coming to Kings Island in 2023. Well, what is this area all about? Where did it come from? What's the history of this area? What will it be like? And what does it mean for the future of Kings Island? As we turn our calendars to 2023 and away to the park reopening a few months away after the long winter, I'm excited for this new area and want to dive into some of these things with you right now. Kings Island's website describes Adventureport saying the myths of an ancient civilization and its mighty city carved out of stone have lured travelers from around the globe to this bustling port community for more than a century. This sounds really cool. I don't remember many other areas in Kings Island having this level of a backstory, so I'm excited. I'm optimistic. This could mean that there could be some exciting props, immersive elements in this area. It goes on, the website describes this area being located between Coney Mall and Action Zone, which makes me think that Adventureport will be replacing the park's original area known as Oktoberfest. There'll be a couple new flat rides, Soul Spin, a little more intense ride. There'll be Cargo Loco, more of a family ride. Some updated theming elements for Adventure Express, and then some updates to existing food and beverage locations. Kings Island is working with design firm Jack Rouse Associates on the Adventureport project. JRA design firm located in Cincinnati, Ohio, goes way back with its connection to Kings Island. According to JRA's website for this project, their scope involves master planning, writing and content development, attraction design, and graphic design. JRA's owner and CEO Keith James just recently had an article done on him on IAPA's website, where a video shows Keith walking through Kings Island as Keith describes the impact that he had on Kings Island and that Kings Island has had on him and his career. It's really great that JRA is the creative group involved in this project because they're taking great care. Not only does JRA do a great job creatively on their projects, but in this case, they have such a connection to Kings Island that they're being very thoughtful with this part of the park. Both of the new flat rides in Adventureport appear to be throwbacks to flat rides that used to exist in this same area of Kings Island. The Soul Spin ride looks like a clear throwback to the old Skylab flat ride that used to be in a very similar part of Kings Island. Skylab, which opened in 1986 and closed in 1997, was a really fun spin ride that I remember as a kid enjoying. And then the Cargo Loco flat ride is a throwback to the original Durr Spin and Keggers ride, which opened with the park in 1972 and closed in 1989. And what I love about this is that Kings Island is seeing that people, their guests, love Kings Island's rich history. And more it seems like Kings Island is tapping into nostalgia, especially with the 50th anniversary of the park this last year. I think about the Phantom Theater Encore show and other things like their fireworks show, which tied so much of its history into what guests were able to experience this past year. This area at Kings Island seems to be taking things to a level of story that perhaps Kings Island has not had before. You'll notice in Kings Island's description of this area, they say, if asked, the locals will tell tales of those who came before you and vanished. And this makes me think that perhaps Kings Island is learning from groups like Disney. I think of the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge area, where as you interact with staff members, you're interacting with characters that are a part of this world that you are now in. Now, I've been wondering, why did Kings Island choose to develop Adventureport for their 2023 attraction? I'm sure that this whole area will serve some practical needs that they have, maybe everything from food and beverage to interacting with younger guests, more guests with their different flat rides. But what spurred the origin of this idea? And the only thing I can think of is that Adventure Express is such a great ride, such a great mine train with such a great storyline, that perhaps that was kind of the core of the idea that just began to bloom and blossom and spread into that surrounding area. And I think about Adventure Express opening in 1991. When it opened, King Cobra stood next to it, When Son of Beast was built, it was built next to Adventure Express. Of course, it was torn down, and the Banshee has now been built, and Adventure Express has just stood throughout all of that. And I compare it to other Aero mine trains, and I think it's among the best of the Aero mine trains. So, what a great ride and story Adventure Express brings. The creative theming of the ride was designed by R&R Creative Design of Anaheim, California, which was also responsible for the creative design of Phantom Theater. And I think it goes to show what an impact themed rides with a storyline have, that they really do bring so much to the table that simply an intense ride, which may still be great, doesn't have. When there's that themed story element, it really penetrates audiences and becomes so memorable. Kings Island's website says that this Adventure Port expansion will include enhanced theming for Adventure Express. And then the website includes a couple pieces of concept art related to this. One shows a new themed entrance, which I think looks great. I always enjoyed the Adventure Express entrance sign, but compared to what we see here, the original was kind of flat, one-dimensional, and so this will add a lot of depth, which is great. But I also find it interesting, there's this other piece of concept art which shows this grand finale lift hill with all these cool characters surrounding your train, which of course has been a part of Adventure Express since it opened. So why is this here? Why do they include this piece of concept art? Because I don't think I see anything different in this. And it makes me wonder, is the enhanced theming on the ride just maintenance upkeep to bring this back to the level that it was when the ride opened? Will there be enhanced lighting, other effects? What could this be? I'm hopeful that there'll be more. I won't be surprised if it's just kind of a maintenance update, upkeep kind of thing, but I really hope there'll be more theming. That could be really cool. What do you think the enhanced theming will be on Adventure Express? There's so much to love about Adventure Port. I'm so excited about this new area at Kings Island. The only thing I can say that is a little bit sad about this is that with the coming of Adventure Port, we're losing the original Oktoberfest land that had been at Kings Island since it opened. It's been there for 50 years now. And I wish that there had been some way that the Oktoberfest land could have been kept. Somehow maybe it could have been leaned into and embraced with its story and its theming. It seems that for years the Oktoberfest land has kind of been lacking, not a lot that's really engaging with guests. So I understand why they've gone with Adventure Port. It seems like a much more engaging storyline, but I wish there was some way to keep Oktoberfest. And I also wonder, so is the Fest House, is Viking Fury, are they part of Adventure Port now? Or is there still a small sliver of Oktoberfest that will stay at Kings Island? So just to close, I'd like to show a short clip of Dennis Spiegel talking about the original vision for Oktoberfest at Kings Island.
Oktoberfest was a capitalization on Cincinnati's German heritage, and we wanted to serve beer, so we created the German Beer Gardens area. And I don't remember if it was the first year or second year that we put in the big fest house, but that became a landmark in that area where we had ice skating and shows and did the German foods and everything. So we themed the rides in that area. Drunken Barrels, that was taken from an Oktoberfest ride. So we themed the area. I think we had the swinging ship in there, in that area. So again, all those rides and the planning came from the Cincinnati huge German heritage.
Thanks so much for taking a moment to watch this video about Adventure Port at Kings Island. I hope to do more of these videos, so please come along. If you'd subscribe, click the icon with the bell, that'd be great. We'll see you for the next one.